Hi, I'm Jenny Potter, and we're here at the Friends for Yes unit, being supported by Calendar Studios to bring you this podcast. We're going to be talking about COP26 and how this can affect us locally. I'm here with John McNally, MP. So, John, are you attending COP26?
Yes, I am, Jennifer, and thanks for hosting this event today. It's very good of you. I'll be attending COP26 in Glasgow. At the moment, I'm there for 3, possibly 4 days. I'll be attending various events. In the first instance, I'll be there as part of the Environmental Audit Committee at Westminster on the 5th and the 6th of November, and the most important one for me will be the 11th of November, which is the theme day for the youth communities.
Yeah, I know you do a lot of work with youth groups for climate change. So that is the Youth Action for Climate Change. Is that the one that you're working with there?
Yeah, that's right. I set up the Youth Action Against Climate Change at Westminster, of which I'm the chair. And we have a great active Secretariat Interclimate Network, and they have been instrumental in bringing local schools and local organisations together, and they have set up a few campaigns.
That's great. So what are your hopes for this? What are your hopes for what you can achieve with this?
Well, in the first instance, I'm hoping that we have the youth of the country's voices heard, and not just heard, but listened to and acted upon. We've had an awful lot of yakety yak, and we need to get more action and less talk, more work, and more work in our local communities. So I'm very keen on what I call incorporating accidental activists to come in to work with us. Very keen on horizontal community inclusion, so we're getting children from all parts, less privileged backgrounds, to have their voices heard as well. So that's what we're trying to achieve, and have these voices recognised, and probably help to support local schools and local organisations in hearing their voices and recognising them.
Yeah, that sounds really good. So as you were saying about local schools, what is it that you're doing locally with schools to promote this?
Well, for example, this Friday there's an action day from the Scottish Youth Parliament, which is extremely good thing to get in, a good organisation to get in contact with. So as part of that, this Friday I'll be visiting some local schools and some other local organisations to talk to school kids, younger people, about what their concerns are about climate change or any other aspect about how they see their future. And I hope to get some really difficult questions so that I can help in my best way to answer them and to get them involved. So that's the purpose of the whole day on Friday spent out with local organisations, meeting youngsters, getting them involved and listening to their concerns.
Yeah, I think that's really good, because I think there has been a bit of a problem with politicians sometimes maybe not listening to young people, or sort of pretending to listen to young people and then sort of just saying, aye, okay, I'll sort that out, and just kind of ignoring it, especially the people who are below 16 or 18 for some elections who can't vote. So I think that's really great. So what is not to spoil what the kids are going to hear, but what kind of things do you think you'll be talking about with them?
Well, I was at an event in which Falkirk schools were at in Glasgow called Fuel Change.
Okay.
It's a local organisation. I think it's an NGO that started up. Fuel change means about a mental change, not just about the actual fuel that you use. So I attended that at an Arnold Clark Innovation Centre in Glasgow, and from that it was obvious that they were concerned about fast fashion, the use of fast fashion, modern day slavery, the whole supply chain, about where things come from and where we source things from. Those are the two things that came out. There was also things around fuel, not just fuel poverty, people having to heat their homes instead of eating, or eating instead of heating their homes, which is, as you know, in a country like Scotland where we're energy rich, that should never happen. So these are the type of questions I would anticipate and try to enlighten them of what we're trying to do in Scotland, and how to bring a better self-worth about the local people and where they come from, and cherish where you come from. And hopefully in time that self-belief will grow, get them to speak in public and have confidence in themselves.
Yeah, that sounds really good. So I've heard some stuff about the My Bit Your Bit campaign. How does that relate to what you were saying there?
Well, the hashtag My Bit Your Bit campaign, thank you for asking that question, as part of the Youth Action Against Climate Change campaign. and the secretariat that I work with that provides all these things, they're asking schools, youngsters to do a 20-second broadcast on their phones or on their iPads and send it into my bit, your bit.
Okay.
And then these will then in turn be transferred into the presidency of COP26, the UK government, and to the Scottish government, indeed all governments and local authorities. So the idea is to get the younger people to speak in 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and they will take that and put all that together. And I hope they have millions of people responding to it. It's a big problem for them.
Yeah, well, I think that's really inspiring, and I'm really excited to see what young people come up with, because like you were saying, I think young people, I mean, we can see it with some young activists. Sometimes young people are the ones making the most noise and making the most movement about ending climate change, so I think that sounds really good. So yeah, so that's all next Friday that you're going to be, this Friday that you're going to be doing that, so hopefully we'll get an update soon after that to see how everything's been going. So I think, is that everything? Is there anything you want to add?
No, I think that's enough to begin on with, and the idea of having an invite to come back and talking about how successful or not successful it was will be, I'll be looking forward to that eagerly.
Yeah, sounds good. Right, well, thank you everyone for listening. I hope that taught you about what we're doing locally, and we'll be back with you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.